Guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Angela, and welcome back to what is this? It's not an unboxing. It's a VR to Angel over at Feeding My Soul 1212. She has 4 prompts, 3 decks per prompt. So I'm doing a VR to that. I will, if I remember, link her video below. But there's 4 prompts and 3 decks for each prompt. So let's get into this. So I have 12 decks to show you. The first prompt says 3 decks you felt called to use as soon as you receive them and why. And all of these decks are decks that have a special place in my heart. So the first one is my favorite deck ever. The only deck that if I could only ever have one would be this deck. It's the deck I'm doing a study with right now, and it is the Lightseers Tarot. This is the Tarot on a 10. For some reason, I have my first Hay House copy that I have. I don't know where it's at. And then I bought this, and then I bought another copy for the study, which I haven't opened. I can't find it either. I don't know why, but every time I go to look for this deck, I can only find the 10 version. So I'm like, what is happening? But it's the 10 version of my favorite deck ever. And of course, when I have the story way back when I bought this deck. When I started tarot, the Kickstarter version was already out of print, and I saw this on Lisa Pepez's channel, and I said, oh my god, I need that deck. It speaks to my soul. Like, there was something that spoke to me on a very deep level with this deck. I thought the colors were beautiful. I needed it. And it was out of print. And then all of a sudden, the mass market came out, and I hopped on it. I was actually... I think it came out, I want to say it came out in like August of 2019, something like that. And I didn't buy it till like October, November, something like that. It's been a while. Yeah. And I kept seeing it everywhere, and I kept saying, why is this deck haunting me? It's beautiful. Sure, I want it, but why? And then I bought it, my Forever Stalker card there, the 5 of Wands. I saw this deck, or went ahead and bought it. And as I'm going through the cards, I came across the 8 of Swords. And I had already been drawn to the 8 of Swords in the very first deck I bought that I still don't really resonate with. And then the second deck, this was the third tarot deck I ever bought. The second tarot deck I ever bought, I learned how to read tarot on. And then this deck pulled back another layer of what I'd already learned in the first deck because of the 8 of Swords. Because I didn't realize at the time that I was still seeing myself as trapped. And I was like, oh my god, this is why I was stalking not only the 8 of Swords, but this deck I was stalking it. Because I needed this card. Because it was there to tell me, you're no longer trapped. You're no longer blindfolded. You have many, 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 many options. Why are you still acting as if you're bound and blindfolded? And I was like, what? And from there on, things changed. Something changed in me. And I realized this is one of my favorite strength cards also. A lot of my favorite cards are in this deck. But that's why I immediately knew I had to work with this deck. Something was calling me, and like I said, something profound changed when I got this deck, and I saw that the Eight of Swords, I was still seeing myself this way, and I needed to let a lot of stuff go after that. So this deck, that's why it's my favorite deck ever, because it will forever help me realize who I am. Okay, next deck is the Mindscapes Tarot. This is fairly new, just came out July. Yeah, it's gorgeous. And I actually bought the Hay House, this Hay House deck too. Light Series is too. I bought this deck. I saw it on Kickstarter. I'm like, I need this deck in my life. It's so beautiful. And then I was such in a hurry to get it and work with it that I purchased the Hay House special edition box just to get it early. Because it was not supposed to come out, I think, till the end of July or even August or something like that. And I got it like 3 weeks before it actually came out on Amazon to purchase. But yeah, I knew I needed this deck in my life, and it's been beautiful. Sometimes you just want really pretty things, and this is all nature. I'm a Virgo. Yeah, it was never not going to happen. So that was the Mindscapes Tarot. And then the last deck in this category, or this prompt, the Stretch Tarot. This is one of the first decks I ever stopped watching the video I was watching. This one actually is the one on Make Playing Cards. It's a linen cardstock. It's way more shuffleable than the ones you get off his website. Look at that. Beautiful. I stopped watching Nina from Shuffle Tarot. She was doing a past life spread with this deck, and I knew was looking for something to do past life spreads with. And I saw this deck and said, this is the deck I'm in my mind created for past life work. And I got it. Actually stopped, paused her video, found the deck, bought it off his website, and then came back to the video. And that's literally was the first deck I did that with. I've actually got two that I did that with kind of back to back. But this one has a workhorse deck for me. It's in my top 5 favorite decks ever. I immediately did a past life spread when I got it, and it has been phenomenal ever since for past life, ancestor work, you name it, this deck will do it. And I recognized that when I saw her using this deck. This is going to be one of those kinds of decks, and I have not been disappointed. That's, like I said, it's in my top 5 favorite decks ever. And so I have the second edition of the deck, and then I have this version that's on Make Playing Cards. So I have 2 of these. Okay, that was the end of category 1, and oh my god, we're already 8 minutes in. Yeah, need to pick up the pace. Number 2. 3 decks in your collection that you never felt cause to use, and why. I bought this because it was $12. The Lost Tarot Nostradamus, Tuttle Publishing. I saw it, and it was like $30-something. This is when I first started doing tarot, and I was just buying up everything I could afford, honestly. And it was $30-something, and then one day I looked online and it was $12. I'm like, why not? I've never used it. It's very intimidating to me. The cardstock kind of sucks. Backs are beautiful. It has a different kind of system to it. So I think that's part of the why it's always been intimidating to me. Even though I'm well seasoned into tarot now, I could probably handle it. I just haven't reached for it at all. I did do a couple of little get-to-know-you spreads when I got it. Very intimidating. So that was... And that I just haven't picked it back up yet. Now, I feel like every deck in my collection could be there for a reason, a spirit, something. So at some point, I'm sure I will pick this up and read it with it. But I've never done that so far. Each suit's renamed. It's just a lot to go through. It does have a nice looking little book there. I don't like the box it comes in because it's got that 2-part box where the cards are everywhere and it's weird. Got this huge book that comes with it. I just have no desire to get into it. Also part of it is I'm always busy, so with my job and stuff now, so yeah. So that's deck 1. Deck 2 is a deck just because I love this author so much. I've read all of her books. This tarot deck is based off of her books, which are paranormal romance. There's fae, there's vampires, there's werewolves, there's you name it. And I was just scrolling through something one day and saw that they had created a deck based on the book series. And I was like, I have to have this. These cards are comically large. I mean, they are gigantic. They're like the size of a Nook or a Kindle. Big. But probably wider. They're huge. I love the backs. They're very dark. And I literally got this just as a nostalgia thing. There's no way I'm ever going to use this deck. Because, first of all, you kind of got to know the series. Second of all, it's very dark dark deck. And I'm just like, it's crazy how dark it is. Yeah, it's a deck that's beautiful. But I'm just, it's not a readable deck, honestly. It's not. But it's so stunning, and I love it just because I know the history of the series of the books. I've read them all, and I just thought that was beautiful. So that is the Fever Tarot. Next is the Baroque Tarot. This is an indie deck. Also, the Fever Tarot is an indie deck, and my Stretch Tarot is an indie deck. The rest are mass market. But I got this off Kickstarter when it was on Kickstarter. It's gorgeous. Everything about this screams decadence. It's a beautiful book. I have used it a little bit because its edging is coming off, but you can see here it's intact. It is very much a RWS clone. And my problem with RWS clones is that I have certain decks I go to for that. And this isn't one of them. It's a beautiful deck. I have all my decks I've used, except for the Lost Tarot Nostradamus, I've used at least once. But this is not a deck I reach for just because if I'm reaching for a true RWS, I'm going for my 2.0 or my Borderless Centennial. I'm not going for something like this, even though it's literally is an RWS clone. It's still stunning though, and it was expensive, so I kind of, stray away from it if I can. So that's why this one does not get used, but it is stunning. It will never leave my collection. That's deck 3 of 2. Prompt 3. 3 decks in your collection you want to do a deep study with, and why. This deck, I actually made a pouch for it based on Chanel Days' video she did a couple years ago. Come out beautiful. I love this. This is the Lorenzi Tarot. It's a US Games deck. I've said since I got it. It's also another deck that I wanted to work with immediately, and I just haven't. Because when it came out, 2 years ago now? 3 years ago, maybe? It's been 2 or 3 years since this deck came out. I bought it on a pre-order, so I got it when it came out. And I've never really used it because I'm waiting to do a deep dive with it. It comes with a great book. There's something deeply spiritual that I feel with this deck, which is why I bought it. And at some point, I love this Hermit. At some point, I'm going to do a deep dive on this deck. I keep saying that, and I just figured out another deck, but that's fine. I keep saying I'm going to do a deep dive with this, and I just don't. I know it's coming at some point. It will be here. It's got a huge book that comes with it. It's just waiting for me to have the time to do it. And I don't have any time extra right now for anything other than the deep dive I'm doing with my light seers. So that was deck 1. Deck 2 is a new deck to me. It's a Primordial Tarot. It is a Los Scarabeo deck. I didn't know this existed till last month before I bought this. It is a remake. The original is out of print. It's got the thicker cardstock that comes with their 2-part boxes. There's the backs. I think this is pretty neat and exciting. And I don't know why, but I would love to spend at least 1 month deep diving into this deck and just going through it. And just doing nothing but using it and being with it and taking the time to really study the images in each card and break it down and, you know, all the things I want to do with this deck. It is stunning, and it intrigues me, but I don't understand it at the same time, which is why I chose this to do a deep dive deck study with. Now, I just remembered another deck that I have, since I bought it, I wanted to do a deep dive, and I've said I'm going to do a deep dive, and I have never I've had that deck since I started my tarot practice. So, that rightfully should be number 3, but I'm not going to get up and go get it. The deck I chose was my Meraki Tarot. This is an indie deck also. It's funny, I have an indie deck in each one, except for the last prompt. This deck has like 5 separate versions of it now. This is the original Kickstarter version. The reason I bought this deck was this card, which is funny that it's on top. It has a rose petal finish. So soft. It's like butter. The backs are gorgeous. The fronts are gorgeous. I love everything about this deck. It's a total Virgo deck. And then the second edition came out. And then there was a workbook that came out with the second edition. And I have both of them. So I have this version and then I have the second edition. And I think she's on number 5 now. But I bought that to do a deep dive. And this came edged in black also. And it's barely chipped. So it held up pretty good because I've used the crap out of this deck. I love this deck so hard. It's one of my Virgo decks. It's beautiful. And I need to do a Virgo video because we're in Virgo season. I didn't realize we've been in Virgo season for about a week now. Because it's August 30th, 2025. In 3 days, it will be my birthday, September 2nd. But yeah, I've been meaning, I bought the workbook in the second edition. I just haven't. Like I said, my job has had all of my extra time the last couple years, so I'm just like drained. So that at some point will get a deep dive as well. The other deck I just thought of was the Tarot Apocalypsis. It's a Los Scarabeo deck as well. It has a huge book that's about that deck that comes with the deck. And it's hardback. And it's all gods and goddesses. And it goes through every single one of them. There's like 6 pages per card. That would be an amazing study. I just have never done it. So, that was deck 3 of prompt 3. Last prompt, prompt 4, is... my gosh. If I can get the paper out. It is 3 decks you want to use before the end of the year. I just got this yesterday as a gift. It's the Stellar Vault Tarot. Actually, I'm in the middle of uploading it to my channel right now. Yeah, this was on my wish list for my birthday. It comes silver gilded. This is a US Games deck. Look at the beautiful backs. It's pretty cute. I like the cardstock. It's pretty nice, beautiful. I have not worked with it because I literally just got it yesterday as a birthday gift from a buddy at work. So hopefully this will show up in the rotation. I know we're headed into these darker tone. I mean, everybody's already dressing up for fall. And these are very pastel-y colors. But there's an element to this that also feels very wintry and otherworldly. And I think that warrants some looking into. So probably in the next couple weeks, this will be used. That is depending on what decks I also get from other people and what decks I pre-ordered come in. Because I have a deck that was pre-ordered. I have several decks that were pre-ordered that were supposed to come out later after my birthday, and one's going to be here tomorrow. So I'm like, okay. So this will all depend on what I get in the rest of the year, if it gets pulled out or not. But that is one of them I'm hoping to use. Another one I'm hoping to use is the Happy Halloween Tarot. I got this, I'm pretty sure this came out last year on Halloween. And you couldn't use it. Or it came out the year before. I want to say it came out in 2023. And then last year I just forgot I had it. Because it came out October 31st the year before. And I put it away ready to use last year and just forgot about it. But it's front and center on my shelf now. It is also a US Games deck. It is stunning. And I'm pretty sure this was a indie at one point. Look at the candy corn on the inside of the box. That's stunning. Stunning, stunning, stunning. This deck is beautiful. Very beautiful. Very playful. I'm not into horror stuff. I'm very much into candy corn and decorations. And look at these backs. Gorgeous. The edging is chocolate. It's a nice US Game soft cardstock. The deck is gorgeous. I mean, just gorgeous. It is a pip deck. I don't care. It's stunning. I love the color palette. I love everything about this. I just haven't used it yet. Not really. So it will be getting pulled out and paired with my other fun Halloween decks come October, which we're around the corner from. Yay. Yeah. So this is the gorgeous Happy Halloween Tarot. It will be used. Oh, look at the hangman. It will be used. I will pull it out probably the first day of October, honestly. Just so I know I've used it. So that was the second deck in this last prompt. The third deck, everybody's got, because it just came out. It is the Hedgewitch Tarot. This is a Llewellyn deck. It's got the smaller box. So if you've got the Steampunk Fairy Tarot, it's the same size box. Huge book that comes with it. It's got a little Llewellyn card holder there. I think they're starting to put that in all their stuff. I don't know. I just saw another deck I pre-ordered on somebody's channel yesterday, and it had the same little thing in it. So the cardstock is unusual for Llewellyn. It doesn't feel... I guess it does have some little groovy thing there where it does look like linen, but it also feels very thin. It is very, very thin paper, but it does feel like it maybe will hold up. But this deck is stunning, but it's all based around Christmas, Thanksgiving time, and just the coloration of it says it's not the time. Considering when I got this, we were having over 100-degree weather days. It was not the time. We've since cooled off, and which is also unusual for us because we're still 90 to 100 degrees up into late September, and we're already hitting fall temperatures at this point, 60s and 70s degrees. So I think fall and winter are going to be here much sooner than we anticipated. But we're relieved that there's a cool down, because we were at one point you couldn't walk outside without your breath catching because it was so hot. But this deck is a very much a fall winter, I would say on the cusp of fall and winter deck, just because of the coloration. And look at that garden spider though, that's cool. And look at that guy on top. Wow. Anyway, despite that, it's a very much, to me, a fall winter deck. So this will be used in, I want to say I'm going to pull it out in November, because it feels more November-ish to me. Because of where I live, November's a time where we're not getting snow, but it's chilly, but there's still green, but it's dying off. You know winter's on its way. Not green, but fall. There's still leaves, but they're not. November is that in-between time for me between fall and winter. And that's when I feel like this deck will be there. But that's all the decks I have in this video. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, don't hesitate to comment below. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification button so you're alerted to any future videos. And y'all have a good afternoon.